Combining us with 8th Blackbird, I thought was kind of a perfect match.
Just feels like such a happy collaboration, and I don't know, I just keep walking around with a smile.
I remember one day Matthew just texted me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in writing a concerto with band for us?" And I was like, yeah. It's like a dream commission.
It started in 2018. I opened up 8th Blackbird's website because they are one of my favorite musical ensembles of all time, and I just wondered if they would be interested in doing something with the Navy Band.
To come and perform with the Navy Band is like a dream that, you know, we've just had for so long, and then so for it to actually be happening is just making my heart kind of melt. And you guys are all so tight and work in a collaborative style just the way we do.
What was really an honor with this piece was to be able to bring these two communities together, and to bring both of these communities together that are both equally passionate about making music together is just a privilege. And to write a piece now for like kind of one of the greatest bands, the Navy Band, it's kind of me honoring that.
The culture of the rehearsals is so laid back,
Yeah.
and welcoming.
Yes. Oh, everyone
Yeah.
has been so welcoming. That's amazing.
Yeah, it just feels incredibly good to be on stage.
Yeah.
I call myself an 8th Blackbird groupie. I've loved the group forever. I love what they stand for. I love the fact that they are adventurous in their music making. They are always reaching for new horizons, right? Ways to do things in a new way. And for us at the United States Navy Band, while we're a very traditional organization, I really feel like it's important for us to also continue to move forward, to push the boundaries. I just thought it would be neat if we could collaborate on something new for the wind band world. So I reached out, sent an email, and came to find out they would be interested in doing something with us, and I was thrilled. We picked Viet Cuong to be the composer of the work.
Viet took a long time writing the piece. He tells us that it's his most personal work and the one that he's invested the most in. Over time, the project, I think, shifted. He changed the title Vital Signs for him, meaning both signs referring to music like a sine wave or something, but then also the vital signs, I think what he felt like he was pouring into it physically and emotionally.
I think it's deeply personal, and I think he's such a perfectionist in his composing. Every time he said, "Can I have a little more time?" You know, he was taking that time to make it, you know, the most ideal version of it that he could.
On one level, and certainly if you listen to the solo parts, you can hear that. I mean, it takes a very high level of artistry to deliver those solo parts. In fact, I don't know that there's another group other than 8th Blackbird that could deliver those solo parts. So it's incredibly complex in some ways, but in other ways, when you step back and you just listen to it, it hits you in a very simple ways, right? The overall effect is a very kind of a simple effect. All the complexity underneath kind of leads to me, sort of a deep-seated emotion.
When you think of a sine wave as this rising and falling, and structurally the piece does that a lot.
He was very creative, Viet was, in the way that he put that melody together against this very simple sort of backbeat. And it's easy to get yourself lost in the middle of that. It's incredibly well written.
And I use a lot of what are called musical sequences. So when you take some music and you repeat it again and again, but you kind of vary it each time in some way. There are these sequences that happen like every 4 or 8 measures, but then also you take those and then those happen again and again as a way of developing the music.
Oh yeah, it was heavily informed by COVID and all of the artistic shutdowns starting right as he was beginning to work on this, and the isolation for him that came from that, and returning home and being with his parents during that time.
No, I just also say that the piece is dedicated to my father, who passed away last summer, and he was really instrumental in me finding music and staying with it when I thought that I wasn't good enough for it. So I want to dedicate this to him.
Viet is one of the kindest human beings you will ever meet in your life. He's just an amazing human being, but he's an incredibly talented composer, an incredibly gifted musician as well. So you combine that all together, the experience in the end can't be anything but great. So I'm very much looking forward to bringing this whole thing to fruition.